Again, shalom, everyone. Shalom. I want to welcome everyone back over here to the Lost Sheep of Israel. I'm Elder Michael Johnson, the pastor over here with Lost Sheep of Israel and with King James Bible University. And today we're going to be going through the book of Hebrews. But before we do, we want to make sure we get some of the announcements out of the way to where we can make sure we'll be clear on the many things that's going on. And as I said in the earlier teaching, we were speaking about people going through the baptism. And we have the email set up there because we're going to be doing them in two places that's coming up within the next couple of weeks and one in the next month and a half. One we're going to be doing in California, which is going to be up in the Rancho Cucamonga area. And you need to send an email there with the subject heading for California. And the main thing there, we want to make sure you send it because the same as some other people might tell somebody else and then they show up with those people and expect to be baptized. And I will not baptize you if I absolutely don't know who you are. That's the exact way that we work here. We need to make sure we know exactly what you're doing, know exactly who you are, because you need to make sure that you do what's required of you. In the same other place, we're going to be doing one in Savannah. So we have people that's in adjacent in other areas to where they can come there. So with that one, You also put in Savannah. You just put your name in there, and you're going to be contacted back to where you're going to get all the information to where you can actually participate there. And that'll be coming in about a month right now. Maybe less, but right in about a month, because we want to make sure that you guys have enough time to do that. And then I have another announcement that I want to make sure everybody understand. Deacon Emmanuel over there with King James Bible University in Palm Springs, he have took this and he's saying that many people that might have questions to where they want to do pretty much like a personal Bible study. And what he's doing, he has this up here, to where if anyone has a personal or seeking a personal Bible study question and they need help on certain scriptures, and basically what he's doing in a passage that you cannot quite understand or really grasp, and whatsoever may be the case in that, he's allowing you to where you can email him at qsanders@kjbu.org, and he will set up a Zoom meeting with you throughout the week, and it's basically acceptable based on you. And what you'll do, he will sit there and he will answer the question or help you understand that Bible passage. So he's more than happy to do that, and you can go through it with him. So you'll see his email is right there, but it's qsanders@kjbu.org, and you just send that to him, and based on the Bible question, he will set up a meeting with you on that. And now we got to go back, and that was all we had based on that. But we was looking at Hebrews, which we changed it because on Mondays we have Elder Pittman, who is King James Bible University, KJBU, DMV, which we're going to be looking at there, to where we're going to be going through to where you can see what is happening there on Mondays. But we're looking at this here. We're looking at Hebrews. And as we've been going through Hebrews, we've been getting some understanding there. We've been getting a lot of understanding here. But we want to understand more so what's going on within the scriptures. Within the scriptures, because everything else doesn't matter. What matters is where we're going and where we're trying to get to. So we need to know where we're going and where we're trying to get to. That's the key. Nothing else really matters. Everything else is temporal. Everything else can be covered. So this is why it's so important to make sure you understand exactly what thus said the Lord. So what I want to do, I want to take you over to something. We're going to start looking at some things, but I want you to understand one main thing, and to help you to understand what is happening here. Because even as the statement in the verse, we're going to look at the verse, but I'm going to veer from the verse for a second, because I do want to explain something to you. And I'm going to go here real quick. And I want you to see this first, but I want to make sure we're going to go through something else another way. And it says, but strong meat belongeth to them that are full of age, even those who by reason of use their senses exercise to discern both good and evil. We get that. Many of us get it, some people don't. But the main thing is we're going to try to make sure as we go through this, everybody will get it. That's the key. So what this is saying here, and what I want to do, I want to take you another route to where we can see and where we can understand what is being said. We want to be able to see and be able to understand what is being said. Because as the statement you see here in this verse, and you have to remember, this is still a parable. We can't change that. It's still a parable. But parables, and then it's based on how it is viewed. I want you to start writing this down. Over here, we don't just sit and talk and you just, yeah. Oh, thank you. No, write your stuff down. Write it down besides doing that. And the main thing is, you want to see how it's viewed. Because some can be seen as sophisticated metaphors. That's what people are going to use in the carnal side. They're going to be looked at as sophisticated metaphors. but it's going to still draw the structure of preceptual knowledge. You can't change that. These things you can't change. People are going to see it in a carnal way. People are going to see it in the preceptual way of knowledge. And these parables provide a powerful blockchain network for connecting the book to the writers to the readers that's concerned on a specific subject. In a nutshell, we've been dealing with this for actually quite some time, almost a year. And we had to get piece by piece by piece by piece to kind of get people up to speed on what we really were trying to push. So parables, you have to keep this in mind. Always keep it as a blockchain, this network that's for this connecting the book in the writer to the reader's concern of this specific subject. I want to make sure we understand that. And I want you to see something else, because as you see this, many of us will see examples such as you're on the correct path today. Just take that piece. You're on the correct path today. This sentence should remind you of a couple of things, and it's two things mainly, because this is the view of life in a road that can have numerous potentials, and you can either have a success going one way, or you being on the correct path, or you can have numerous failures going the other path. So the same is saying right now, you're on the correct path today. This is the structural parable that we need to see. So this structured statement employs a structured parable, which is the journey, and people are going to say this is a metaphor of life, which is an abstract goal that is inside the parable of life. So we got to look at the starting point of the book to understand the journey. Well, hopefully everybody understands what I'm saying. I just want to make sure everybody's with me while we're getting ready to get into these scriptures. And I just want to make sure everybody is okay. Everybody's okay, and you just can say yes or no, because I want you to understand what I just said, because we're going to go into some things, and I want to make sure that you understand exactly what I'm saying. You know, it don't benefit me anything to where if I speak over your head, it's a waste of time if you don't know what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. So that's why I sit there and I say the things I say in the way I say it, because I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm saying as we're moving forward, and everybody is good. So that's all we want to worry about. Everybody is good. Now what we're going to do, we're going to see some things. We're going to understand what is happening here. We're going to understand what is happening here. And we got to look at something that's important. We already have that there in what it's telling us about, but we want to see how we can come to these conclusions in the parables to understand what the statements are in the Bible. That's key. And we can see something like even Yahushua said something to Peter. And this is going to help us understand, but strong meat belong to them that is full of age, those who by reason to use their senses exercise to discern both good and evil. We got to see what the point is. We have to see exactly what the point is. This is the thing. This is the main part, because like Yahushua, he told Peter a key thing, and we want to look at that because he told Peter, feed my sheep. And that was the example that was in the Bible. We're going to look at that one to get a better understanding, to see exactly how this works. We're going to see how this works. We're going to look at verse 17. We want this here. And I want you to understand how this blockchain works. We got to understand how it works. We don't understand how it works, then we're wasting our time. And it says, he saith unto him the third time. So he's told him twice before. He said, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? You going to promise me something, Peter? I need you to promise me something. Promise me something. Lovest thou me? Peter was grieved. Peter got hot. Peter was upset. People are going to say Peter felt sorry. No, grieved means Peter got angry. Because he already 2 times before told him, yes, he going to do it. he said, you know I do. You know I'm going to take care of it. But you got to understand what is happening. You got to understand what is happening here. So Peter was grieved, and Peter said unto him a 3rd time, lovest thou me? And Peter said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest I promised you. I promised you. So, yeah, I was trying to say unto him, feed my sheep. Then you feed them. You promise it, do it. And most people are going to sit there and talk about everything else, but this is what he needed to promise from Peter. He needed Peter to promise him to do something. And Peter, Lord, you know it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to show you how clear Peter understood it. We're going to look at this in 1 Peter chapter 5. Verse 2, we're going to read 2 and 3. We're going to read both of them. And Peter saying this, because Peter knew already, Yahushua, of the flesh, he died and Christ went up, and now he's sitting there and he got his spirit resting in men. And Peter says this, he says, feed the flock of God which is among you. Why? Because Yahushua already got on his butt earlier. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly. Peter was just got hot because he didn't ask him 3 times. And he said, man, I promised you 3 times. Why you keep asking me the same question over and over and over again? You already know I promised you. I'm going to pay it. Feed the flock of God which is among you, taking oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly. Not for filthy lucre. Why you going to go out there, do something, and then you going to fleece the flock? He already said, for all the silver and gold belong to him. But you got men out there telling you, God needs your money. You need an offering to make his ministry keep moving. You need this money to make sure this church stays afloat. He needs this money because the preacher needs to make sure he's okay. All these things that goes on, we see right here. He's telling you, don't do it for filthy lucre. And you got people out there fleecing the flock, letting you know that's not the church. Letting you know that's not one of God's workers. Because he's saying, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. And here's the part that's going to hurt all of them. He says, neither comparing being lords, being rulers over God's heritage. They're not yours, they're his. He says, feed the flock of God, not sitting there taking the flock and now you the shepherd and now you saying, this is my flock. You're a thief. You're a robber. The ones who, anyone saying they got a flock is a robber. He's a thief. It says, feed the flock of God. That don't make you a shepherd. That make you a pastor. That make you a feeder. That make you a servant. Not being lords over God's heritage, but being examples to the flock. He said, feed my sheep. And we got a job of a pastor, and we got to tend to the spiritual needs of his flock because they belongs to the shepherd. They belongs to the shepherd. They don't belong to you. We have to remember what God said. And he already said he's going to make us ministers. He's going to make us laborers and servants. That's all that's saying. Laborers and servants is what we going to be. Not being some dang shepherd ruling over some people. But guess what? It's different out there. But he says a little bit more. Says a little bit more what we got to do. A little bit more what we have to do. See, because we got to understand something. As a servant, we need to be a flame. We got to be formed in the fire and having a desire as being a messenger who worships Jehovah, because he said his messengers, he said, because his throne is eternal. And if his throne is eternal, then we have a choice that we're going to be ruled by, and he's going to be ruled by righteousness in his kingdom. And his kingdom is peace and righteousness. In his kingdom, because we had loved righteousness and we despise iniquity, God, even the Lord our God, he has separated us unto goodness, unto gladness, unto the riches, even above our peers. Many of us, it's always got to be said. People, I don't know why you got to say it. Many of us are going to perish by their learning. Who going to discern in error? Many of us is going to die this second death by sitting there, playing around, going in places where we shouldn't have been going, and we knew we shouldn't have been going there, but we went there based on we want to be around a lot of people, based on we want to be in a clique, we want to be in the know. And you knew it was an error, but you still did it. You still did it. And some of us just do it just by not knowing, just by not being so lazy, being so slothful, don't want to open the book. So since we don't want to open the book, what we do, we sit there and whatever come out of this man's mouth, we believe. We believe. I want you to think about this, because it's telling us right here in Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14, it says, but strong meat belong to them that is full of age. I want you to think about that. Full of age. Those who by reason of use of their senses exercise, discern both good and evil. You see, earlier it was even talking about people was on meat. Some was on milk. But we are sitting there with somebody just doing nothing but milk. Powdered milk at that. We have so many people do this. It's unreal. So many people do this. Many others, they want to seek these things, and we need this knowledge. We need this understanding of the scriptures. And they sitting there and they on milk. They have to be taught again, which are the first principles in the oracles of God. He's telling you that all through this scripture here, all through this chapter. These men need to be taught again. They had developed this preference. They had developed this choice. They developed this taste. They developed all these things, and they sit there and they push in milk and they thinking it's strong meat. So many of us believe them. Many of us is taught this, whatever they want to call meat, and it's actually teaching milk. I'm telling you, we can't get around it. We cannot get around none of it. They sitting there talking about how much all this meat they dropping, and you got even people say, boy, they were dropping some heavy meat today, and they wasn't getting nothing but milk. Bona fide milk. I want to show you something. Let's look at something. I want to show you something that's really clear in scripture, but I want to just show you what's going on. We're going to see this in Judges chapter 14, but I want to take you to 14. 14, look at verse 14. Let's check this out, and I want you to see something, and I want you to see a dang riddle that most people can't even figure it out anyway, and they still think they got it. Even when they found out what it was, but it was still getting a carnal understanding. It says, and he said unto them, out of the eater come forth meat, and out of a strong come forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. You got people right now been in the church for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, and they can't expound on the riddle that long and still don't know it. They're gonna know it today, and then they think they're gonna go in church. Oh, do you know this? Do you know that? They didn't know it. They still can't even expound on it. They just can tell you an answer. They can't give you details. They can't tell, ask the person, how did you arrive to that? How did you arrive to what was spoken? How did you arrive to that answer? I bet you they can't tell you. That's how you shut them down. Yeah, oh, that was good. How did you arrive? Show me how did you arrive to that through your scriptures. You got to do your study for it. No, because evidently you must have went somewhere, got it, coming back, thinking you smart, and you really boo-boo. So we don't understand what this was going on. We don't understand how this actually was working. So this telling you, so out of the eater came forth this meat. So the answer to the riddle, you have to flip it and understand what he was saying. Because the riddle was, and what he told him later, he told him that what was sweeter, meaning pleasant and pleasing, and then he was talking about the honey. He was talking about honey, talking about this nourishment. So they wouldn't have known this riddle if they did not tell it to them, this riddle in plain sight. So when you're looking at this eater, this learner, this person that want to learn, and then he going to speak the things which he had learned, and it's pleasant things, it's pleasing he's doing. So Peter once spoke, and then he exposed himself the same way that you see here. As Peter learned, you see here. I'm going to show it to you. And you're going to see where Peter had problems. Peter had problems. Let's look at that. In Matthew chapter 26, we want to sit there and see something. And we pick this up in verse 76 and verse 73 we really need is that one. 73, and it's right here, and it's clear. And it's clear as day. And after a while, came unto them and stood by and said to Peter, surely thy art, this beauty and perfection of beauty, aren't one of them. For thy speech betrayeth you. You talk just like that dude in there getting beat down. That was Yahushua in there. You speak just like him. Your speech betrays you. So the same thing that we see here, the speech was betraying him because he's talking the same way that he was getting from Yahushua. Now we see the problem. Now we see what the issue was. He couldn't hide. He thought he could, but as soon as he started talking, he started telling on himself. The strong ones being nourished with this spiritual food, the Bible is strict in its teaching, in the same as here, what the meat and what is milk. What is meat and what is milk is clear. I want to show you people sit there and they like to play all kinds of things and all kinds of games telling you what they're doing, and they really don't speak anything. But they'll tell you, oh, we talking this strong meat, and they're not doing anything but talking a whole bunch of milk. And the same thing here as it tells us in 1 Corinthians, and we're going to look at this in chapter 13, but we want to look specifically at verse 11. When I was a child, I spake, comparing the ways of a child. I understood, comparing the ways of a child. I thought, comparing the ways of a child. I was on milk. I was on milk. Looked at Batman. I looked at all that. Thought as a child. Superman. Beanie Boy. Oh, I looked at Kimber. Thought as a child. Understood as a child. Speed Racer. Thought as a child. One thing happened. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Everybody didn't do that. That's why you have today some people trying to bring their childhood into today's living. That's why you see places will teach you about saying that in the Bible, you got these Supermans and these Aquamans and all these people still in the Bible. They in the Bible now. You got spaceships as chariots. You got these gods, these name of these other people. Marvel Comics became a Bible of gods. DC Comics became a book of gods, and they teach them. They teach this. They teach this. When they was a child, they spake as a child, but they grown and they still speaking as a child. They grown and still understanding as a child. They grown and they still thought as a child. They became men, they still is childish. And guess what? We sit there and get their milk. I'm telling you, we can't get around it. And people, oh yeah, we got strong meat going around it. And they passing the bottle from one to the other. Passing the bottle to one another is what we do. See, people come over here, just like I say, I don't come over here to make you feel good. When you come over here, I want you to know what you need to know the way you can get into the kingdom. Not sitting there worried about your feelings. You know, I used to be over the camp, your butt shouldn't have been over there. Learn better, do better. Well, I used to sit in church. Okay, get your butt up out of there. You want to play hurt. You want somebody to put a boo-boo, a Band-Aid on your boo-boo. You ain't getting that here. We done played around with God so long, we don't have the time to sit there to play these games. We have many of us understood and we speak and we do these things, but it's telling you, and they wasn't on strong meat. So the best example here, we have a lot of people even here has been learning here 3-5 years and still don't understand Jesus, still don't understand God, still don't understand the Holy Ghost. Why? Because they don't write nothing down. They're looking for feel-good messages. Still confused about the birth of Yahushua or Jesus. Still confused about what they can and cannot eat. Still confused about can they wear pants or not wear pants. They still confused about these men wearing earrings. They still confused on all these things. These things you should have went, if you would have went through the scriptures, you would have went through a lot of the teachings from this channel and many other channels, you would have understood them the first year. You would have understood it the first year. But we don't do that. We want to be in the know. We want to be in the cut. It makes no sense. In Numbers chapter 11, I want to show you something. In this here, we just got to understand what's going on. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. Exactly what's going on. Cause Anytime you go anywhere, any place, anytime, I don't care where it is. It's going to be a mixed multitude there. A mixed multitude is going to be right there. Some believe, some don't. Some put in work, some don't. That's what he's saying. It's a mixed multitude. In that mixed multitude, among them fell a lesson. They fell a lusting. They fell a lusting. Some believe they can discern what is good and what is bad, but they have the mixed multitude. They're in the game playing arena. That's what they into. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? Boo-boo. Boo-boo. Who gonna give us this stuff to eat? Fell a lusting. Can't get out the way. Cannot get out the way. So when we look at this over in Hebrews chapter 4, but we want to pick it up at verse 6. It says, seeing for that reason it remaineth that some may enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not in because of unbelief. You only hold on to it until you get in trouble. You only hold on to it till you run into a problem. You only hold on to it until you have a little bit of a problem. Then all of a sudden, unbelief kicks in. Unbelief kicks in. Tell me it's a lie. That's why I said strong meat belong to them full of age. Not to these little milk play. Think about this. I want you to think about something. Before we go further, I want you to think about this. Truly think about this. You got some babies to show you how much of a baby, how much of a child thinks. I want you to understand clearly how a child understands and how a baby thinks. So the same thing with the mother provides the milk for the baby to come from her breast. Understand that. So the baby going to take the breast milk. And now if the mother leaves, the baby should sit there and deny any other thing that's coming from anybody else. It should be denied unless the mother have sit there and she have pumped her breast to give the baby that same milk. But guess what? They can wean that baby off that milk and give them milk. They say, what's this? They go from milk to milk. And the baby will drink it. Meaning that baby gonna fly whatever way the wind blows because that baby is hungry. That baby ain't gonna sit there and say, I ain't drinking it. If it ain't, this don't taste like the milk that I normally did. This don't taste like my mother's milk. Take that crap away from me. No, it ain't gonna, you're gonna drink it. Why? Because of unbelief. Because the baby is trying to survive. Trying to survive. This is what we do. We do this like clockwork. Like clockwork, we do this. So we have to understand what's going on in fear. We done fell a lusting. Children of Israel, and they wept again and said, who would give us flesh to eat? We need flesh to eat. Let's look at this. Verse 5. We shouldn't even come here. It says, we remember the fish. Yeah, I know you remember the fish. See, but you got to understand what those fish is. And the main thing is, it's telling you even more. It says, which we did eat in bondage. We did eat in the house of bondage freely. We ate this freely. We learned of this freely in the house of bondage. Eating poo. Eating poo. It's eating poo. What is wrong with us? What have we come to? What have we absolutely came to? He free our mind and we go right back to it. The cucumbers. Cucumbers don't mean nothing but hard. So you can know hard labor, hard work. I don't even know this. This is what we do. Everything hard. Our heaven is iron, our earth is brass. But he got more. In the melons, the queen of cucumbers. The queen of cucumbers. Hard work. Give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And we'll sit there and be happy. In the leeks, really? You're going to give us the grass and the onions. The only ones out there foolish enough to do it. The grass, you see it right there. The onions. Only ones doing this stuff. We're the only ones out there. You don't see no other people out there doing it but us. Onions. I know you didn't even, most of it didn't even know what they were saying. We was kids. We used to call people onion head. Yeah, but guess what? That was a 100% true statement. 100% true statement. Onion head. Yeah, you're right. They sit there and throw away the worst things of anything, give it to us, and we ate it. And now they sell it to you as a delicacy, and you make sure you eat it. I got to get my chitlins. You sitting there, I got to eat my shellfish. I got to eat my crabs. I got to eat my oysters. Oysters don't do nothing but clean the poo out of the dang ocean, and all you're doing is eating boo-boo. I ain't eating boo. That's all they do. They clean the ocean. That's all they do. They get all the fragments of the poo, all the boo-boo in the ocean, and they clean it. That's how they eat. You won't put some hot sauce on it and then drop it down your dang throat. Crabs don't have no vein, so whatever the crab eat is in the meat. Same as a pig is in the meat. So whatever dies in the ocean, it gets down to the bottom, crab gonna sit there, tie a dang thing around his neck, and he gonna have at it. And the first thing you want to do, I want to go to Red Lobster because I'm gonna eat me this and I'm gonna eat me some of that. Or I'm gonna have this. Only us. Only us. We're the only ones do this. What is wrong with us? And the garlic. So these things, we have options. We had an option and we still sitting there complaining about that. The option was the dang manna. Let's look at something. But we were talking about this, but now our souls is dried away, that there's nothing at all besides this manna before our understanding. All we got is this manna that then came from heaven, and this is all we got. I want to eat some boo-boo. See, that's what we're saying. I want to go back and I want to eat some boo-boo. See, get off that. Well, no, I ain't like. That's what you're saying. I want to go back and I want to eat some boo-boo. You getting manna from heaven. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want, no, I ain't that. I ain't gonna eat that. No, please. Boo-boo come out. Oh, I want that boo-boo. You might well go get some elephant boo-boo. Get you a big plate of it. This is what we do. We can't even, you can put choice right food right in front of you. You sit right there. No, I want boo-boo. I'm going to put me some hot sauce on this boo-boo. I'm going to eat me some soul food. Yeah, I need me some chitlins. I need me some hog maw. You got some jambalaya. I got to have this. I got to have a little bit of that. Boo-boo. And then the first thing you know, we get high blood pressure, diabetes, and everything in between. And the first, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know. I don't get it. How in the world you don't get it? And all we doing is eating boo-boo. All he got is this manna. All he got is this manna. You want that manna over there? It came from heaven. God sent this down. No, I don't want that. Where the boo-boo at? I need the boo-boo. You need boo-boo. This don't make no sense. Verse 7 tells you this. It says, including the manna was as coriander seed in the color of thereof, in the color of bullion, color of gold. No, I don't want that. I want that dark brown stuff, boo-boo. I need that. I don't know. I want boo-boo. See, and then the first thing well, no, all you gotta do, tell you what they do. Tell you something they do. Some people, they go in some countries and some states, and what they do, they get these crabs. And these crabs that been eating all this junk, all this boo-boo too, all this sick stuff, and all this dead stuff, and what they do, and the same thing with those thing, you know what I'm talking about. Not crawdads. Is it crawdads? Might be crawdads. They look like little lobsters. I don't forget what they call it. But anyway, they'll sit right there and they'll feed them all this clean stuff for about 2 or 3 days, or they just keep them in water to where they just keep staying fresh water for a couple of days. So it'll help take out some of the filthiness out of the meat. Thank you, my sister. I appreciate it. It's crawfish. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. You know, I ain't the brightest thing on the block. But the main thing is, it's crawfish. They sit there, they do these crawfish, but they call them bugs. They call these things bugs. And as they continually do this, and they'll just water them for a couple of days to help get some of the stink out of them. And as they getting the stink out of them, then all of a sudden they feed it to you. So we sit right there, and then we want to sit there, and the same thing, I can even show you where churches, they'll sit there and they have catfish fried, they fry catfish. Catfish resides at the bottom of the lake, eating anything and everything that's dead. Aunt Jenny down there, guess what? Aunt Jenny is getting eaten by some dang catfish. People done threw their dogs overboard and died, and the cats and the catfish is eating on that. And then from that goes to your stomach. And there's some good eating here. Yeah. Why? Want to tell you why? You like to eat boo-boo. It's to your taste. It's to your taste to eat boo-boo. That's why you like catfish. You like chitlins. Chitlins is where boo-boo run through. So it's to your taste. So I get it. I get all that. Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. Oh yeah, I need me some chitlins. Yeah, You like boo-boo. Why you worried about cleaning it out? Why you worried about cleaning out the boo-boo? That's what we used to. We should all just have a big old boo-boo fest. Because this is why it tells us clear as day, but strong meat belong to them that is full of age. They can discern both good and evil. We ain't trying to do nothing evil because evil is enmity to God. This is our problem. This is our problem. So let's look at something. I want to show you something. We want to look at strong meat and understand strong meat. Saying this, but we all got to get this understanding to understand what's happening. So in Deuteronomy chapter 12, but we want to look at verse 23 for a particular reason. I remember people was in there, man, I ain't come over here to get beat down. We got to get beat down because we've been separated for so many years from God. And he said he ain't taking us back how we are. So we got to get this beat down to get right. So don't think you're going to go back the way we are. No, we got to straighten up some stuff to get back. In Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 23, it's telling us this. It says, only be sure that thou eat not, learn not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the blood, with the flesh. He said a mouthful. So the blood is the lifestyle. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. Said it right there. Don't eat it. And he's telling us more so what we need to understand. Any place the Spirit of God chose and where he placed his name, the first thing he going to tell us is to do something. And he going to tell us to destroy something. We got to destroy these things where we go. And the children of Israel, as what we are strangers, we living among them. And then the Spirit of God, he has given us part as to us. And then he commanded us that we are not to learn the ways as the authority of the ones that is living there within those doors. Don't you learn those ways, including the things that our souls might desire. We do it. We can't help but do some of this stuff. But we got to remember what we're doing. This blood, this lifestyle, and we sit there, we have to say, and we don't want to live the way of this flesh. Any one of us do some of these things in the flesh and the land, and he commanded us not to do. He commanded us not to do this. Don't y'all do it? No, Lord, you don't know what you missing. Oh, you know what he missing? Now all of a sudden you gonna teach God. In Leviticus chapter 7, picking it up at verse 20, says this to make sure that it's clear to each and every one of us. I want you to make sure you understand this. But the soul that eateth of the flesh, which is telling us already, not eat the life with the flesh. Any soul that eateth the flesh and sacrifice peace offerings that pertaineth to the Spirit of God. He's telling you right up front, don't do it. Don't do it. Do it. I dare you. Do it. Having uncleanness, you done ate that catfish. You done ate all these things. You done ate them crawfish. You done did that. I told you don't do it. And yeah, I'm going to do it. Okay, do it. That's uncleanness. Even that soul shall be cut off from his people. But I just want to show you what he's talking about. Let's go somewhere real quick. I want to go somewhere real quick. His people. I just want to make sure you understand something. We're talking about Jehovah, but we're going to go down here to know something. What Jehovah said. His people. I just want you to understand his people. His people. just to get this understanding. He says, I would take you to me for a people, and I would be to you a God. And you're going to be cut off from his people. The ones who doing the work, the ones that is full of age, the ones that can take that strong meat. They're not on milk. Them the ones he talking about. They full of age. They sitting there, no, I ain't eating that. I ain't seen that I ain't seen that. Come on, try it. Try it. No, I ain't trying that. So we got to understand what this thing is, and it was sacrifice of peace offerings. It was sacrifice right here, a peace offering. So it was established covenants of peace offering that we'd have made with some crazy people inside this land. Weirdest thing I ever heard. And I didn't know about it. And I think I was in my 30s. 30s, it could have been in my 40s. And I didn't know because I never seen it. I still personally never seen it. But I do know I do got relatives that eat it. Because they told me they did. And that's how I found out. But they were talking about pig snout. I said, pig snout? What in the world pig snout? They said, yeah, the pig nose. And they barbecue them. I said, what? Y'all eating the pig snout? Yeah, oh man, you don't, boy. If you ate pork, you'll love them. The first thing I think about, you eating the pig snout, and what's all in the pig snout is snot. Snot. You gonna barbecue it up, and then you gonna eat the nose. You might well stick your tongue up your own nose and get all the boogers and all the pus and everything you got up in there. You gonna eat the pigs. Why? Cause we like boo-boo. We like to eat boo-boo. And the first thing people will tell you, you don't know what you're missing. Oh, I know what I'm missing. I know what I'm missing. This lifestyle that don't pertain nothing to God. This is a lifestyle of 100% uncleanness. And he already told us, don't you eat of it. Don't you learn of this life of the flesh. Don't you learn of that life of the flesh. Because I'm going to cut your butt off if you do. Not eat the life with the flesh. Don't you learn of this stuff. No, Lord, you ain't never had none, Lord. If you taste it, I bet you'll like it. Boo-boo. We can't help but do that. I'm talking about we do it like clockwork. We gonna tell God. We gonna tell God what's going on. I'm telling you, we can't, boy. Let's look at something. Let's go somewhere. In Proverbs chapter 30, and we're going to see something. Verse 25. Verse 25. Show you just how straightforward this is. He had this tucked away in there. He had this tucked away right in the scriptures. It's tucked away right there. And he's saying something. He says, the ants are a people. I'm going to say it again. The ants are a people. You say they ain't, then you calling the Bible a lie. Say they not, because you saying the Bible is a liar. The ants are a people. Say they not, and you calling the Bible a liar. Not people not strong. Yet they prepare their meat in the summer. Boy. Ants. So let's understand spiritually why he's saying this. Why he's saying this and pointing at us. Ants mean willing ones. Ant means willing ones. That's what that means. And the people is the souls and the spirits. And then they are not strong. They're not powerful or boisterous like us. They're not powerful and boisterous like us. But they prepare, they make ready their meat, their bread, and their knife. They make sure they take care of business. They handle their business as they need to because it's telling you what they do. They prepare their meat in. And why they're doing this in, it's the influence and the authority of them in the summer with that season, because that's the appointed time. That's summer. That's harvest time. That's harvest time. Summer, harvest time. They going to prepare everything in that time. We don't do that. I tell you the stupidest thing in the world. I tell you, when I found that out, I don't even get it. The stupidest thing in the world. You have places, and the same thing, and majority of my people are there. So I'm just letting you know. Majority of my people are there. Majority of my father's people are there. And I'm talking about New Orleans. New Orleans is below sea level. New Orleans is below sea level. I'm going to say it again. New Orleans is below sea level. So they got to put up these birches and all these things up. But it's below sea level. So if it breaks and anything goes kind of crazy, guess what? That entire town will get flooded because it's below sea level. So what did that mean? That means you shouldn't even be there. But we're going to tell you what do we do? We boo-boo. We boo-boo. We'll stay there. So the ones who have to stay there, I get it. But you got some that can afford to get out of there. Why are you going to live below sea level and anything that goes wrong, you get flooded? And then all of a sudden you, hey, help us. Why in the hell you stayed there? Because they like to party. They like to eat those roaches. We can't get out our own way. We cannot get out our own way. Why in the world we do this kind of thing? And we see this as it's telling us. So they're not powerful, they're not boisterous, but these people, they make prepared to ready, they meet their bread and they knowledge and the influence with the authority within them, and then they do this in their season with this in their appointed time. And that time is in the summer. Harvest time. Harvest time. But it gets better. The Coonies are but a feeble folk. Yet they make their houses in the rocks. I'm going to tell you what it is, just so I can just show you how feeble and childish we are. See, the Coonies, they really know. Some people going to call them rabbit. No, they Coonies. Because a Coonie is a rock badger. That's what a rock, we can't whoop nobody, but he's a rock badger. And they feeble, they weak and inferior, but they're feeble folk. See, that's why he's saying particularly they're feeble folk. Their folk mean a nation or a people. They're feeble. You don't know who you're talking about, do you? Don't nobody know who he's talking about. Don't nobody have the slightest idea who he's talking about. However, they make their houses in rock in the anointed way. And he said, I don't know. Yeah, I know you don't know. Because we done sat there and we like to play with milk saying it's meat. But guess what? It gets better. It gets better. The locusts have no king. The locust. You want me to tell you what a locust is? Yeah, I know y'all. So I'm going to tell you what it is. So you'll know. They call dust lickers. Dust lickers. Or you can call them cankerworms. They can be called dust lickers or cankerworms. They don't have no king. They mean they don't have no ruler. They don't have no one ruling over them. I don't get it. I don't get it whatsoever. But when they go forth, out from them by bands. How in the world they going out by bands? They don't have nobody ruling over. Can you tell me, soon as we sit there and we go into power, some one of us going to want to sit there, I'm going to lead. Let me be the leader. We had boo-boo for a fool, King Martin Luther King. Boo-boo. He was the president of the P-eaters, he said. Biggest hoe walking down the street. The biggest hoe walking around. Extra children, you name it, he did it. And the first thing, he's our leader. Really? Out of a mountain of despair, he told you the dang God abandoned you. And he done came out and he the stone of hope. And yeah, he's my God. Yeah, okay. Boo-boo. Boo-boo. We can't help but do this stuff. We quick to look for a leader. And it's telling you, right, these dang locusts got more sense than we got. They don't have no king yet. They go forth out by bands. They go forth out by armies. They can go out together. Know what to go do and know what they're going to do. We need it. We got to go look for a king. Tell me we were doing it back then. That's how you got Saul. Then today we got King. Then the next thing you know, we had Jesse for a minute. Jesse gonna con Toyota out of $45 million, and ain't not one of y'all seen a dime of it. This is what we do. And right now we looking for another king. Right now, they're in the process seeing who they can groom to put as a king. Right now. Tell me, well, we're going to get Camilla. Camilla ain't even black. She's a dang Indian. She'll tell you she's black. She'll tell you whatever you want to know. And she's an Indian. I don't get it. I try to understand it. And I just sit there, Lord, what is wrong with our people? What is wrong with our people? I don't get it. I'm telling you, I say it all the time. The best thing, but I'm not trying to put myself on this level anywhere, but the best thing could have ever happened. I can't have the knowledge that I have right now and been in the position of Moses when God said, Moses, I'm going to make you, or he would have said, Michael, I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to destroy those people down there. What time you going to do it? You going to do it? What time you going to do it? Let me know what time you going to do it. That's all I need. I just need to know what time you're going to do it. I can go on the other side if you're going to take care of it. No problem. I'll go on the other side while you take care of that. Then let me know. And then tell me where I need to go get a wife from as you take out everybody. Because I know you're going to take care of me, Lord. Go and take them out. Cut them. I can care. Cut them. We're stiff-necked people. How in the world can locusts, and we'll sit there like, man, he got a pea brain. Locusts can go out in a band and they don't even have a king. We need a dang king. Oh, I need somebody. I need a king. I need a king. I'm telling you, we can't get out our own way. Strong meat belong to them that is full of one who can discern good from evil. No, we can't do that. We need someone to show us what is good and someone to show us what is evil. Because we don't know. We got a big old brain in here, and all somebody do is just sit there like, wait a minute, you got that big old brain? So what is that? Is that a paperweight? I guess so. I guess we got brains as paperweights. These locusts goes out in bands. We go out in four and we want a leader. Tell me it ain't true. Tell me this ain't. That's why you see all these men. Every time one get taken out, One of them trying to come up because they want you to look at them as a leader. That's why you go to these buildings and guess what? You want a leader there. That's why you do these things, because you want a leader there. Oh, I need me a leader. Let me go get me a leader. You need a leader, don't you? Yeah. Locusts can go out and they don't need nothing. You go out, I need a leader. Excuse me, can I get a leader? Yeah, go over there with all them ones over there. Go over there with them. And you can go with them. Okay, yeah, okay, let me go over there. Yeah, it's thousands of them over there. Let me go with them. You going on over there. This is what we do. We can't help it. We got the can't help it. And I want to show you something. Because it says the spider taketh hold with her hands, with her powers, including it is the king palaces. People, I don't get it. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to tell you how crazy we get into crazy things. And how much we being clowned. Because we keep getting back in the same position time and time and time and time again. We keep doing this. The spider taketh hold to her hands in the king palaces. So the spider, keep this in mind, is the plan of the wicked. That's a spider. The plan of the wicked. And it's telling you, taketh. So it's going to seize this moment. It's going to seize this. And it's telling you, it taketh hold. So it's going to seize that moment of her powers. And with her powers, what she's going to do, she want to sit there in her hands. And it says, including is the kings. So she's the ruler of these palaces. So these palaces is the temples and these dwelling houses. She's the ruler of those. She's the ruler of these places. We don't even see it. We don't even see it coming. Why? Because we too worried about wearing a fat farm and too worried about wearing Nikes. We too worried about doing all these things, and we sitting there getting caught up. Trying to stay in the know. And we getting caught up in these places. So don't you ever think, when we be sitting there thinking everybody's on strong meat. Really? Are you serious? You really think you on strong meat? And you sitting in a whorehouse? You really think you on strong? Okay. All right, boo-boo. All right, okay, boo-boo. So we got to sit there and understand what's going on. And we got these spiders and we got these locusts and they being feeble and the coonies. And an ant, think about the mind of a dang ant. An ant. An ant. Willing ones. They got the size, probably not even the size of a dang pinhead. Well, I know they don't have the size of a pinhead because a pinhead is bigger than an ant. They got enough sense to gather their meat in the summer. How is that? How is that? We come across all these crazy things and we just get caught up with a bunch of silliness. We do it like clockwork. We go on some of these places and we just sit there. Oh yeah. Well, this is good. This is good. Oh, this is good teaching. Really? We ain't got enough more sense than an ant. The ant can complete. I'll tell you what happened with me and my wife. Tell you what happened. We went down to San Francisco one year. Me and her, we go down there in the summer, in August. Knowing I'm knowing and she knowing it get cold even in the summer. But Michael the boo-boo, oh no. I know what's going on. I can handle this. I'm a man. We go down there to the wharf and we're gonna walk around in August in San Francisco on the wharf. An ant looking at me like, there go boo-boo. Because it dropped down to the 50s and that wind started blowing. I had on shorts and a t-shirt. I could not figure out when all the stores are open during the daytime. And we went down there during the daytime. It was about 12, 1 o'clock. And that place had coats. It didn't make no sense because normally you can't find a coat in the summer. You will not find a coat on a rack nowhere. They got coats on the rack. I'm talking about right in the front. Coats. Why? Because ain't no boo-boos out there. I was one of them. I didn't care what that coat cost. I can't tell you what that coat cost to this day. I bought one. And then my wife, she wanted one too. But we had to get that coat. Why? Because we didn't prepare ourselves for when we went out there. We should have known, we should have had enough common sense. Once we got out there, we already know it get colder there up north than it do where we are. But we gonna sit there, walk down there, and walk around with shorts on in a t-shirt, knowing good and well we shouldn't have been doing that. And you right there on the water, and you see the water blowing at you going over there. You see, oh, it's rough. We knew this. Got out the car, and that wind said, okay, here come boo-boo. And I didn't care what them coats cost. I had to get that coal up off me. Why? Boo-boo. I didn't have enough sense, not even like of an ant. Because I went and did something and I shouldn't have did it. I should have had pants on, or I should have had pants, coat, and a long sleeve shirt in the car. So if it got cold, I can walk back to the car, put those things on, and come out and be prepared. No, I can't do that. I didn't have no sense of an ant. Being stupid. These are the things that we just don't get. So we got to plan these things and understand them. And it tells us more here. It tells us a little bit more here. Let's look at this. And there be three things which go well. Three things that go well. Fourth or calmly in going. I didn't fit none of them. Back then, I didn't fit one. And he's going to tell you what's going on. He's going to tell you what's going on. And I'm going to tell you back then, I didn't fit not one. If you think that was using proper sense, even though it was August, but you still should have looked at the weather. See, weather I should have looked at to see what's the norm over on the wharf. I should have looked at the norm on the wharf. But no, I'm cool. I'm wearing shorts, t-shirt. Look good for my baby. That Wednesday, here come a fool. I'm going to make him put on a coat. And it didn't take long. It didn't take long to make me put that coat on. And we see here where he says, and there are three things which make that which go well. The fourth is calmly in going. And he's going to tell you what they are. So we need to focus on these things to where we can be living this lifestyle as we try to become these followers of Christ. And the fourth would be really good. So we want to understand how this meat is going to work, because it's going to drop some meat on us, and it's up to us to where we're going to understand the meat. Y'all with me? We want to make sure we understand the meat. So this meat belongs to those that's full of age. So I'm showing you my downfalls, and I'm hoping that you learn from it. So if you ever go there in the summer, you know, and if you get caught up, you boo-boo. So we got to look at this, and we're going to see what's going on. So verse 30 tells us this, and we're going to look at them. It says, the lion, which is the strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any. I don't get it. I don't get it. He gonna add all this up, because that's a full thought. A lion which is strongest among beasts turneth not away for any. That's what he's saying. But do you turn away from any of them? Do you turn away from any? See, you got a lot of these big time preachers, a lot of these big time people, and you're supposed to be a lion, but do you turneth away, and you're supposed to be the strongest among beasts? Do you turn away? No, you follow. Boo-boo. This is what we do it like clockwork. You're supposed to be a lion, and he leading the way. And now the main thing we're supposed to do is following those footsteps. But do we follow those footsteps? No, we don't follow the footsteps. No, I can't follow footsteps. I gotta go do it with them. A dang locust don't even have a king. But it gets better. It gets better. Let's look at this all together. Now, this here is going to mix up a lot of people, because it's talking about a greyhound. It's not talking about a dog. It's talking about a greyhound. It's not talking about a dog. And what it's talking about is a dang, what you call like a male chicken or a rooster or a cock. That's what that is. That's not a dog. A greyhound in the Bible is not a dog. A greyhound in the Bible is talking about a rooster. Well, you can see it as a rooster or a male chicken or a cock. That's what that is. That's why I tell you the cock will crow 3 times. That's what that's talking. That's that greyhound. And you have he goat also. So now we got a cock who's gonna constantly crowing, talking a bunch of nonsense, waking everybody up, acting a fool, and then we got this goat. A goat is burdened with iniquities. That's what that actually telling you what it means. So now we ain't out there just talking a bunch of flap like they sitting there, let me be your leader. Oh, we out there talking a bunch of burdened with iniquity. That's why when you go in these buildings, you go to these places, the first thing come out of their mouth is, we need y'all to pay y'all tithes. And guess what? I'm only going to give them 20. Hell, that's all they needed. That's all they needed. They just need you to put in something. They just need you to put something in. And it's telling you the same thing. Also, and a king against whom there is no rising up. And a king against whom there is no rising up. You ain't gonna rise up. I already know you're not gonna rise up. Why? Because this is what we do. We good at doing this. I was just talking to my brother-in-law yesterday. I'm sitting there talking about how King did our people. And the same thing is, King will march and show you all these things on TV. But you never seen King in the midst of the beatings. You seen King when they sit there and they let King know, we're going to rest there. You go there. But when you go over here, don't go there, because we're going to do the beat down, and they were going to test to see what you doing, is our product going to work. So all the people going to do is march. We're going to put dogs on them. We're going to beat them, and they bet not swing back. If not, I need you to go out and do some more marching. So we can train these people right. Once they train them right, and then we can beat them and do whatever, we can spit on, we can do whatever we want to do, then we know we got them up. It ain't going to be no rising up. And once they got that, you see people, they'll come up, they'll spit in their face, they'll do whatever they want, they'll kick them, put their dogs on them, put the water hose, do whatever they want to do, and you'll sit right there and keep your mouth shut. Ain't no rising up. Do a lot of talk. You see that? Grant, you gonna do a lot of talk. Like first thing in the morning, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe. Bunch of talk. You ain't gonna rise up. People sit there and complain to show you how much we're boo-boo. And this is why he's saying this. This strong meat belongeth to them. This is why he says that. Because you have people where they get the information, they get the knowledge. And this is why the mother over there in 2 Maccabees in chapter 7, those kids said, oh, what you want to learn of us for? We prepare when you sit there and they can't win. See, because the only thing they're trying to do is put death on you. See, this is why in the 20s, you seen people looking at white women. And what happened? They'll sit there, you'll find them hanging on a tree. Why in the world Jack Johnson wasn't? Jack Johnson not only was messing around with them, Jack Johnson married them and moved in their neighborhoods. You ain't never seen Jack Johnson hanging from a tree, have you? Because they knew you mess with him, death was going to come to somebody. To get him, death was going to come to somebody. But we sit there, we ain't going to rise up. We're going to keep our mouths shut. That's what we do. We good at doing it. So they can sick them on your mother. They can sick them on your father. They can sick them on your children. And you ain't going to say a word. Not a word. And the first thing you want, we got this going, just stupidity. Ignorance that we do. This is what we can't help it. As my cousin used to say when we was kids, we got the can't help it. We just do it. And the craziest thing is we'll sit there and just complain amongst ourselves. And then get mad when you see other nations can sit there and just say something and the law will change. Just say the word. The law changes. Just say the word. Boom, changes. We say the word. Oh, there ain't nothing but a cock crowing. They'll be quiet tomorrow. They ain't going to rise up. We already got them trained. They ain't going to do nothing. But we got to understand what's going on. Because you going to see, nobody, I don't know, we got a lot of people might not even, it says, providing thou hast done foolishly and lifted up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thy power upon thy mouth. Shut up. I'm only pausing for an effect. That's it. Go look all through Facebook. See how they complain about when something happened to one of us. All you see people doing is opening their mouth. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Shut up. Put your hand over your mouth and be quiet. Meaning this. We acting like these kings is, and what they do, they're burdening us with their iniquities. But we crowing like cocks. We gonna crow. We gonna make all kinds of noise, lifting up ourselves, and all this evil is done. And we need to sit there. And since we don't do anything, put your hand over your mouth and shut up, because you're not gonna do nothing. We supposed to be, but strong meat belong to them that's full of age. Yahweh was walking through that, didn't care about nothing. We walk through timid. If you with God, who can be against you? No, I gotta be cool. If you rolling with God, who can be against you? As we continue to learn, as we continue to do these things, it's difficult. It's going to be extremely difficult to understand what is happening. Because you got so many people, they're going to keep teaching you this milk. This milk. They're going to teach you how to turn the other cheek. They're going to teach you how to do everything to be peaceful when something evil happens to you. Besides you speaking the truth. You're going to allow it. Many of us is going to allow this, no matter what. So as we continue to do this, many of us men today, we should be teachers. We should be teachers of the word of God. However, the same must be taught again, the instructions that is written in the Bible. This is why these men need to learn the first principles of God, the oracles of God. But rather, they want to teach milk and water, and we'll sit under it. So today, we need to look at this in a serious way. Understand what we have to do. Besides them sitting there teaching that Esau's the white man, spaceships, and having more than one wife, the Trinity, and Jesus is God, and the law is abolished, and they're using all these milk teachings to keep you tied up. And they're 100% babes. Strong meat belong to them that is full of age, who understand the Bible and not about to debate, but what God's statement is, and everything that God said is fact, so it's not debatable. Is not up for a discussion. So they are unable to distinguish between what is good and bad because they're going to debate it. So hopefully with this scripture here, as we finish it out, Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14, understand what's going on. This strong meat that you've been taught should give you a boldness. God didn't instill fear in you. The strong meat belonged to them, not in the hand of a babe. So we got to understand these things, and hopefully through these scriptures in chapter 5 that you have seen what was going on, and these people who sit there and they talk about scriptures, and we see chapter 5 verse 14, this meat belonged to them, not to a babe. Them that is full of age. Those who can exercise both good and evil. So hopefully you got an understanding on this, and many people are going to still continually move forward on many different arenas in different ways, thinking they can live in both worlds, and you can't. You got to choose one. And the one you choose, you need to be able to discern which one you chosen. So hopefully you got some understanding from that. And I just want to make sure that everybody understood that. And if you didn't, let me know right now, and I can do a Zoom class real quick. But if not, we're going to go out from here. So I'm looking to see, did everybody understand everything that has went out thus far? If you didn't, just say no, and I will open up a Zoom class for you. And we just seeing. Let me give it a second. And Elder Pittman, can you make the statement one more time, Elder Pittman? KJBU, line upon line. Can you make the statement again? I need to make sure that everything gets switched over. And everybody's pretty good. There we go. Okay, we're good. So, good. So everybody got it. So as long as everybody understood it, we good. Okay. So we're good from here. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead, we're going to finish out here and move on out. So tomorrow I want to check real quick to Evangelist Micah. I need to check his real quick. or any teaching. So the same thing is, as I was saying even yesterday and this morning, that if you have not had the chance, please go over to KJBU line upon line. And Elder Pittman is over there. He's the pastor over there that is doing that one. So if you make sure you go over there, make sure you're able to subscribe over there. And it looks as so I'm seeing right here that it looks like it won't be nothing on tomorrow unless he end up putting it up later. But I don't see nothing showing for that channel. So the same thing on Monday. If you get a chance, you can go over to Line Upon Line, which is there, and you can catch Elder Pittman on Monday, and then everything else is as follows. So please make sure you follow it as we're going through, and you'll be able to see everything what is going on, and you see the changes that are made. So hopefully that each and every person got some understanding. Hopefully each and every person understood where we was coming from. Hopefully with everything that was said in this teaching, you'll be very clear on to where you can go back and study it and see for yourself on what's going on. So with that, I say to each and every person, until next time, I say to you, until we meet again, I say, Shalom.